It is so true that in life, very often, when we do things that are wrong, because of our pride, because of our ego, because of our greed, so we become defensive and we react to situations. And we think these people are making our life difficult. And it's not true. It's to help you not to cause yourself further harm. And so we need to recognize who are the real enemies. And many of our enemies actually are our friends. And our friends sometimes are our real enemies, because our friends, they only tell us things that we like to hear. Those things that we don't like to hear, they won't tell us, and they give us sometimes a wrong picture of what is going on. And our real enemies actually are real friends, because they tell us all those things that we don't want to hear. And that's why you find them irritating. And of course, sometimes our enemies tell us things we don't like to hear. There could be some truth in it. Sometimes a lot of truth even. But the question is, how do we regard them? Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. So our attitude towards our enemies must be something positive. We should not be an enemy to anyone. We should always be their friends. The best way to win over our enemies, and Jesus said precisely, you must be perfect as your Heavenly Father is perfect. Perfection here is not a moral perfection. Perfection in terms of compassion, in terms of understanding. There are different kinds of enemies. Some of our enemies are hurt, they are deeply wounded, and so they are reacting, they are nasty, they are unreasonable. And these are the enemies that we are called to heal, to reach out to them, and to learn to identify with their pain. Instead of judging them, instead of condemning them, we try to be with them in their pain. All of us have our pain and all our brokenness. We need to really ask for the grace to love our enemies. And those so-called enemies, perhaps they might not be enemies. That is the other thing. We need to discern who are the real ones. If you have done something wrong, the Lord forgives you. But sometimes the consequences of your sin will pass down to the second and the third generation. So that's why, whatever we do, let us always remember it's not just for the moment, it's for the next generation. Let us realize that in whatever we do, there are consequences, not just now, but more in the future. And the long-term consequences cannot be seen until many years down the road. And history is going to repeat itself. So let us pray that we humble enough to be like the Lord, to loving all, whether honest or dishonest men alike. Let us pray that we win our enemies over as friends by loving and forgiving them.